Just call me Luke Littler. Hello everybody and welcome to Hawk Talk, where we are now just hours away from Hampshire Hawks kicking off their Global Super League campaign for 2024, and it's exciting, isn't it? This little appetizer before Christmas. Don't mind if we do. And to help us preview Hampshire Hawks taking on Rangpur Riders, we have enlisted the help of a man who knows a thing or two about T20 tournaments abroad.
Oh, that's come right out of the middle. It only takes one delivery and it's sailing for six.
Benny running across, Benny Howell.
Oh, it's a great catch. Great catch there by Benny Howell.
Four wasps together. Oh, he's bowled! Crawley trying to hammer that away on the leg side.
Oh, and again, he's nailed that one. That's even bigger. Oh, wow.
Last ball of the game. Bowls and he goes for a ramp shot and they'll go for four. Oh, Benny Howell throws his helmet off, his bat down.
Yep, exciting. All kicks off tonight for the Hawks in the Global Super League, taking on the Rangpur Riders. We'll get onto them in a bit. Plus, we're going to be joined by the team analyst Matt Funnell. But Benny Howell, it's lovely to see you. Most valuable player in the Vitality Blast for the men this year. Did you get anything for that? I never really know what most valuable player means. Does it mean you get more money? You get an embroidered shirt? What's the situation?
No, I think it's just what it says, that's it. I mean, It would have been nice, disappointing, but no, it would be nice to have won something for the team. Maybe I would have got something then.
I'll have a word with your agent, it's fine mate, a bit more money next year, something like that. Nice to see you. Listen, exciting. First game happening this evening against the Rangpur Riders. We'll get onto them and your association with them soon, but I imagine these tournaments, there's a big build up to them. You're just excited to get going.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is slightly different. I mean, this tournament's in the middle of November, start of December, and it's with Hampshire. So normally you're away playing franchise tournaments with different teams. You're sort of getting to know new teammates, but this tournament's nice because you're playing with your mates, you're playing with your team. So the boys are excited. I mean, it's starting to rain here now, so it would be nice to play in a bit of heat in Guyana. And we want to do well. So.
And you know what these tournaments are like. You've played across the world in these T20 tournaments. You've got to start fast. It's not like Vitality Blast where you have 14 group games. So what is the key from your side as to starting fast?
Well, we've done all our prep as much as we can here. So we sort of tick that box. But I think the plan is when we get there are one or two games maybe before us. We just got to have a look. We have to watch the games, see what the conditions offer, and then see from there, see what we can do and adapt to the conditions that they'll provide. We don't really know what we're going to get. We might get slow wicket and maybe a bit of dew at night, so it might be a bit wet, but we have to see. So we have to do a lot of watching and then adapt when we're out there.
And what kind of an influence have you had, given your experience of playing competitions across the world? Have you had a lot of chats with Woody and people like that?
We have had a little bit of chat, with Woody and Graham Welsh Pops and Jimmy Adams. There's a few guys like Dawson who's played around the world as well. So you want to start fast, but you don't want to try almost too hard. You still got to just do your thing and stay calm in any situation, because the game can change so fast in T20 cricket, and especially in tournament cricket. So you just got to stay as present as you can out there and being able to adapt to any sort of situation, any sort of scenario. And that's sort of, I guess, the mental side of it is the most important.
Well, a reminder, of course, 4 group games for Hampshire, and then hopefully the final coming up, all in the space of around 10 days' time. Starts this evening against the Rangpur Riders, a side that you know well. A couple of stints with them. Give us a little insight as to what their identity is, what we can expect from them.
They get probably some of the most talented Bangladesh players in their team. They're a really well-run organisation for being over in Bangladesh. Not every organisation they chop and change, but this has been a steady team throughout the BPL. So they've played a lot of franchise cricket, within their tournament. And they played together, so they're going to be tough. But they're not used to Guyana conditions like us, so I guess it's how they adapt. We'll just have to have a look and see what happens out there.
Is there much that you can provide, given you had previous stints with them, or is it because there's so much chopping and changing with these tournaments, it's actually hard to get a gauge on their style?
I wouldn't say it's a style, because they do chop and change a little bit, but in terms of the players, there's a lot of players' names in their team that I do know who's also played for other Bangladesh teams and I played against, so I would definitely be able to have my input on what certain batters or certain bowlers do to feed on to some of our guys. So in terms of that, for sure, I'll be able to help.
And they're a side coached by Mickey Arthur as well, who's a renowned coach around the world, coached many an international team. Notoriously just difficult teams to break down and beat in Mickey Arthur sides.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to go and want to win as well. I mean, they're very proud. They don't want to go out and just compete. They want to win. So they're going to be tough. But yeah, we're just going to stick to what we know, adapt to whatever's out there with the conditions and whatnot, and how they play. But yeah, it's exciting.
We mentioned in the Blast a successful personal campaign for you, most valuable player, as we said. Even though that was a few months ago, can you still take confidence from the summer into a tournament like this, or does it kind of not count for much given the gap?
You can take a little bit of confidence. I mean, knowing the players more. I mean, I sort of played halfway through the year before for my first year back at Hampshire, so it's sort of getting to know the dynamics of the squad and everything, and had a full year last year. Starting to feel like I was back at home. So in terms of the common theme of the players and everything like that, so.
There are a fair few players that you knew from before, right?
Yeah, it is, but I mean, there's a couple, but everything's changed. We're all a bit older. I mean, they're all sort of the same, but sort of different. But yeah, I think being more of a team, being part of Hampshire, having another year with them, I feel like you're more comfortable with sort of expressing yourself out there. I think that's going to help massively. So, I mean, there are definitely moments in the season where I can take confidence into it. But look, it's another game of cricket at the end of the day. It's in a different country, different conditions. I'm probably just going to have fun and see what happens.
And I would imagine you're probably going to face a lot of spin out there, turning wickets notoriously. What for you when facing spin? Loads of people watching this will probably be keen to know, what is the one thing that is in the back of your mind when you're facing spin?
Well, it depends. I mean, it depends what the spinner's doing. And there's obviously various different spinners you're going to face. You might face guys who swing the ball in the power play with the arm ball. You might face your standard left arm spinner who will vary his pace with sliding on or a bit of turn, or you face your mystery spinners and stuff like that, and you've got to watch it pretty carefully. So there's no one way to play it. I just think you've got to watch very carefully of what the bowler's trying to do your research beforehand, see what he likes to do, and then whatever your strength is, apply that to what he does, and then you sort of come up with a game plan to that. There's no one way to play technically. It's just you've got to figure out your way against this type of bowler, and I think that's the key, is doing your research beforehand.
There's also some big name players as a whole across this tournament, and as a batter I imagine it's something that comes with experience, but as a batter do you need to learn as well to not play the name, because that can often be a hiccup?
Absolutely. I mean, you should never really play the name anyway, no matter what game you're playing in, no matter what tournament.
I'm sorry, if I'm facing Shane Warne, I'm playing the name though.
Yeah. I mean, naturally you're going to see that bowler, but at the end of the day, if you do that, you're probably not going to play as well as if you're just playing the ball. So you've got to be aware of what they do and what their strengths are, but also how you can, combat those strengths and also see if you can see any weaknesses. And you've just got to go about it in that way. And hopefully you come out on top, but you never know. It's T20 cricket. You take risks as a batter. So yeah, we'll see.
And given your role in the side as well, often means that when it comes to crunch time, when it comes to the end of the innings, run chases, defending a total, you're a key part of that. Again, I would sit down and just cry probably if I was in half the positions you're in scenarios. But what is the one thing that you try and, when the pressure is on, TV cameras are on, late at night, what's that one thing that you try and call upon to keep yourself composed?
Well, I think it's just doing your job, whatever that means in that situation. So if you need to rotate the strike, build a partnership, okay, what's my game plan in order to do that? If you focus on those sort of things, that sort of the worry about whether I fail or whether I don't sort of goes, you focus on the plan. So, and also if you're trying to score quickly, how am I going to do that? What bowler am I going to try and take down? What ball, where's my options? All of those sort of things. So having an awareness of your game plan, I think, is the most important thing in terms of being able to deal with pressure, but also being able to focus on what you need to do. That's, each ball, what's right in front of you. And I think if everyone can do that and obviously train well and stay cool in that sense, then, we're a good team. Hopefully we'll go well and we'll win the first game and get on a roll.
I'm sure you will. You will go well. I've got full confidence. Enough of the serious stuff before we let you go. I want to do a few quick fire questions. Now you can send these in across the tournament to us on social media. We've got a few here for you, Benny. First one comes from Louisa, who would like to know, do you use different bats for different conditions or scenarios? It's a nosy question. I like that, Louisa. Good.
I actually, maybe just one different bat. So if I'm coming in early, which is rarely happens, it's normally till the mid-late innings, but if I'm coming in a bit early, I'll have a little lighter bat, which being able to sort of manipulate the spin, maybe hit gaps and stuff like that, I will use that. But more often than not, I do have just a number one bat, which I go to, and it's probably because I am coming into situations where I will have to score quickly, and I tend to just try and use it in the game because it's my baby. I don't want to.
Are you one of those that you're quite nerdy with your bats?
No, I'm actually not. But if I get a good bat, I don't want to ruin it. I get worried that because it makes a difference. That extra 5 meters, if you need to hit a 6, it makes a difference.
Absolutely, I'd love to be able to hit it 5 meters. Good question, Louisa. Nassan asks, being an all-rounder, what is your warm-up routine, and do you prioritise batting or bowling?
I prioritise bowling. I would say for me. Because you have to warm up the body. I mean, I have to. I get in quite early, just do a lot of yoga type stretches, prehab exercises, which is like activating your muscles, your glutes, your hammies, and all those sort of things. So I'm ready. I mean, I'm not 20 years old anymore where I can just get out there and run about. So I have to sort of warm up in that way, get my bowling done because I have a lot of different sort of variations that I just want to just make sure they're on point. So I'd say I do that more often than not. With batting, I try and stay nice and cool because I might go out there and only face 10 balls. I might face 20, 30, but you could just face a few. So I don't want to just hit loads and loads of balls. I just want to make sure I'm ready, I'm watching the ball, I'm seeing the ball. Sort of, it varies a little bit, but I don't want to do too much of that. But I know with bowling, I'm going to bowl a certain amount of overs generally, so I want to make sure I get all my skills in.
You mentioned yoga there as well. Are you a yoga man?
I am, out of necessity really. I had a lot of little back niggles a few years ago, and I went to India, and there was this played Punjab Kings. They had this yoga instructor, and I thought, well, we were stuck in the hotel the whole time, might as well give it a go. And we went through a routine, and after a week, 2 weeks maybe being out there, I didn't get any soreness in the back. You figured out what works in terms of what sort of stretches, what movement works for me. I mean, everyone's different, but for me, it was a game changer. So I sort of religiously do little bits of yoga every day, most days, and when you're traveling and playing, you tend to get stiff, so that actually helps big time.
More men need to do yoga, I think. We'll tell you that. We'll have a chat about that after this. Final one comes from Adam. Who's the most famous contact in your phone?
My phone, there's a few, big name cricketers, but I mean, I can say my dad's phone has a very famous contact. He's Prince Edward is one of his good friends, which is Prince Charles's brother. Long story short, years ago he married Sophie. I don't know, they call it Duchess of, I can't remember now. But anyway, he introduced those two. She used to babysit us when we were kids. So he used to come around because he used to play a sport called royal tennis, which my dad was. He does that, and he used to play and coach and stuff. Growing up in England, I think it was Reading Oratory he used to come to. Anyway, so they met through that, and they were like great mates. They keep in contact all the time. So he's a busy man, but yeah. So
in theory, Hampshire go win Global Super League. We could see the team taking the trophy to Buckingham Palace.
Well, we have to. I mean, Prince Edward's a bit. He's quite cool. He's actually he's a good guy. So he might be like, it's all good, no worries. But we can ask the question.
Oh, we'll get him down to utility box.
We can ask him. Yeah. I mean, he hasn't got much on.
Enjoy County Championship.
Yeah. I mean, he loves sport. Yeah, loves it.
Great, we'll have a word with it. Perfect, we'll chat about that after that and yoga. Listen, lovely to see you. I hope all goes well out in Guyana. It's going to be a lot warmer there than it is here in England, but we're looking forward to watching you.
Can't wait.
Well, Benny, lovely to see you and go well out there, and hopefully we'll see that trophy being paraded around Buckingham Palace soon. Nice to see you. Right, coming up next, we're going to be hearing from team analyst Matt Funnell, who's going to be taking a deeper dive into Hampshire's opponents. So then, to take a little bit of a deeper look into tonight's opponents for the Hawks, the Rangpur Riders, we've got team analyst Matt Funnell once again with us. Matt, good to see you. We're just hours away now from the tournament kicking off. Is your prep by this point kind of done, or are you still trying to find little bits of data, things to pass on to the team?
No, prep's all done now. It's quite nice with the first game of the competition. You don't really have to be scrambling for anything that's already happened. Fresh canvas of Rangpur Riders. We've had it sent out a couple of days ago, so the lads can look over it before training and whatnot.
So that's like a brief, is it? You're going to give them a brief of things to be aware of?
Yeah. So their strengths and weaknesses, where they may be their strong areas and their weaker areas for field placements, and then they can sort of take that into their own training, where they're looking to bowl. and what they need to execute in different phases of the game.
Now, Rangpur Riders, we know they're made up of plenty of players from Bangladesh. They've also got a bit of a Derbyshire flavour to them, haven't they? With Mickey Arthur coaching them, they've brought in Zach Chappell, Wayne Madsen. Has that helped at all? Is that able to give you an indication of the way that they might play?
Slightly, maybe. He hasn't ever worked with them before, so there won't be any previous history with that. But they're both high quality players, Zach and Wayne. So along with the other overseas they've brought in, they should be a strong side.
And as for this evening in general, how does it work? So you're going to be back here in the UK. We've got the coaching team, Graham Welch leading that, and the squad out there in Guyana. You're going to have a direct line to them, and throughout the game, are you sort of still feeding them little bits of information and data?
Yeah, I'll try and contact them as much as possible. Obviously, with PMOA and whatnot, you can't really text them, but
players and match officials. We'll use phones and stuff.
We'll get some communication over to them as much as possible. But like I said, all the work's already been done, so we shouldn't have too much to do. But I'll be keeping on top of the game. I'll be coding it, taking all the relevant information that we need, and then look over to a review after the game.
We're going to do exactly the same if that's all right. You can review it as a side, and we're going to review it as well. Yeah, as soon as that game takes place the following morning, we will get a review done and dusted, and we'll get it in your feeds as soon as possible as well. So make sure to subscribe to Hampshire Cricket on YouTube, and of course you can keep across socials as well, and there'll be updates throughout the game. Hawks taking on Rangpur Riders. The GSL is just hours away from getting underway. We'll speak tomorrow.